Welcome to Vijnana Vidhi. How are you? Hope you all are fine. Today we are going to study or we are going to deal with the language activities of third unit. Nowadays we are studying a lot of grammar and all, isn't it? Okay. Today we are going through some simple grammar in English. Okay. It will be quite easy for you. So let us start. Take page number 100 from your textbook. Open and keep it with you. Take a notebook also. You should be ready to write down the notes with this. Okay. In the first activity, the question is like this. Consider the following sentence from the story, The Best Investment I Ever Made. Excuse me, doctor. I wonder if I might introduce myself. Here, in this column, what you have to do is, you have to fill the column by using some formal and informal usages of our talking. What do you mean by a formal language? That means if you are talking to an elder or if you are talking to a person who is an official or something like that, then we have to use the formal language. Or else if we are talking with our friends and all, then we have to use informal language. Here the same thing, how can we use in formal language and in informal language, that is explained. Okay, so let us go through it. Here the first one is done for you. Making a request. I would like to have a word with you. Here what you have to do is change this sentence without changing its meaning. How can you change it into informal? How can you? Can you give an example for that, or can you give the answer for that? I would like to have a word with you. How can you tell this or ask this in informal way? Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? That is quite informal. Okay. See the second one, offering a help. Here informal way is given over here, I will help you. And how can we ask it in the formal way? How can we ask? I would be pleased to help you. I would be pleased to help you. And see the next one, giving advice. You had better consult a doctor. And in the informal way, consult a doctor. See the next one, asking for permission. The informal way is given over here, can I have a pen? Can I have a pen? Then how can we say that in the formal way? Would you mind giving me your pen? Would you mind giving me your pen? See the next one, asking for direction. How can you ask for direction in a formal way? Could you tell me where the bus stop is? And how can we ask the same thing in the informal way? Where the bus stop is, or where is the bus stop? And see, giving options. How can we give options in formal and informal way? For example, if I am telling the movie was really great. The movie was really great. And how can we say it in the informal way? It's awesome. It's awesome. Then agreeing. Agreeing, how can we say that in the formal way? I do agree with you. I do agree with you. What about the informal way? Yeah, it's right, or you are right. Then disagreeing. I do not agree with you. In informal way, we can say that you are wrong. These are the different usages of language. How can we can use this language in both the ways, in formal and in the informal ways. Here now you understood how can we speak in a formal way and how can we speak in a casual way or the informal way. To our friends and all, we used to talk in the informal way, or to the officials or to the elders, we have to speak in the formal way. And here one exercise is there for you. Complete the following conversation between Mr. and Mrs. John and Dr. Cronin using formal expressions. By using some of the formal expressions, what you have to do is, some of the parts of the conversation are given here, then the rest you have to fill of your own. See, Mr. John, excuse me, doctor, I wonder if I might introduce myself. Then Dr. Cronin is giving the answer in a formal way. Of course, please introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself. Then Mr. John, he is saying, I am Mr. John. I am afraid you may not remember you. Then Dr. Cronin, he is giving the reply like this. I am sorry to say that I cannot recognize you. I am sorry to say that I cannot recognize you. If it is an informal way, we can tell like this. How can we say that? Sorry, I don't remember you. Like that we can say. But here in this informal way, we can say like this. I am sorry to say that I cannot recognize you. And Mr. John, by the way, may I take the privilege of introducing my wife. Then Dr. Cronin, good morning, Mrs. John. Good morning, Mrs. John. Mrs. John, good morning, doctor. It's a pleasure to meet you. Okay. Then Dr. Cronin, again he is asking a question. Is this your first visit to America? Is this your first visit to America? Mr. John, yes, it is my first trip to America. This is the formal way of talking. This is the formal way of conversation. For the examination also, if the question is coming like this, you have to use the formal way also. Why? Because the conversation, if it is coming like this, then you have to use the formal way. So, you have to study the modal auxiliaries that you studied in the last grammar class. Then the usages and all things you have to study very carefully. Okay. Then let us move to the next part of the activity. See the activity 2. Here, first of all, you should know what is a conditional sentence or what is a conditional clause. A conditional sentence generally has two parts. Here, this conditional sentence that we can divide into two parts. The first one is a conditional clause or if clause. The sentence we can divide into two parts, and one part is known as the conditional clause or if clause, and the second one is the main clause. This one we can call it in another name, subordinate clause and main clause. Subordinate clause and main clause. Say the sentence, if you work hard, you will pass. Here, first of all, we have to divide this sentence into two parts. How can we divide? Yes, I put a comma over there so that it's quite easy for us to divide the sentence into two parts. The first one, if you work hard. Second one, you will pass. See the first one, if you work hard. By reading itself, we can understand that it is incomplete. That portion of the sentence is incomplete. That incomplete portion is known as the if clause or the subordinate clause. This part of the sentence which cannot stand alone. This can be meaningful. This could be meaningful if we are adding with the other part of the sentence. See the next part of the sentence, you will pass. That means that part of the sentence is complete itself. It's not at all dependent, it's an independent clause. So, the part of the sentence which gives a proper meaning to us, that part is called the main clause of the sentence. The rest part of the sentence is called the subordinate clause or the conditional or if clause over here. Okay. Now, what is an if? What about if clause that we are going to see here? If clause can be used at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. If clause in all the sentences, it may not come in the first part. Sometimes it may be in the second part of the sentence. Okay. There can be two or more verb phrases in the sentence, one in the if clause and the other in the main clause. In if clause, we can see two or more verbs in the same sentence. The one part of the verb will be in the if clause part and the other part in the main clause. Okay. There are three types of conditional sentences in English. There are three types of conditional sentences or conditional clauses in English. Which are they? Type 1 is known as probable condition. Type 2 is improbable condition. Type 3 is impossible condition. These are the three types of conditional clauses. Okay. Once again, type 1 probable condition, type 2 improbable condition and type 3 impossible condition. These are the three types of conditional clauses, and one question from this side is sure for your SSLC examination, and it is very easy for you to study also. Okay. These are the names of three conditionals. And what are the specialities of these three types of sentences that I am going to explain to you. See, the first one, type 1, probable condition. Type 1 is probable condition. See, one example is given here. If you work hard, you will pass. Here we can see a possibility. That means if that person is working hard, he will be able to pass in the examination. Here we can see a possibility. That is called probable condition. Here, if clause, which is the if clause? First of all, what we have to do? We have to divide this sentence into two. See, then we can divide this it like this. If you work hard, that is one part of the sentence. You will pass, that is the other part of the sentence. So, if clause from this sentence is if you work hard, and which is the main clause? You will pass. And did you notice any speciality with the verb over here? See, if you work hard, work, what do you understand by this verb form? This is the first form of the verb. How many forms of verbs are there? 3 forms of verbs are there. V1, V2, V3. That means present form, past form and past participle form. Here in the if clause, if you work hard, work is the V1 form of the verb. That means if V1 form is coming in the if clause or in the subordinate clause, in the rest part we have to use will plus V1. Will plus V1. That means will plus present form of the verb we have to use over here. That is the rule of the first type of condition, the probable condition. Once again, I will explain to you. If you work hard, you will pass. See the verb over here. The verb is V1 over here. So, in the next part of the sentence or in the main clause, we have to use will plus first form of the verb. That is the first rule of type 1 condition, probable condition. See, one example is given for you. If you drop the plate, it will break. If you drop the plate, it will break. Here, see the verb of if clause. Drop. Drop is the verb. That means it is the first form of the verb. If we are using the first form of the verb in if clause, then in the rest part or in the main clause, what we have to use? We have to use will plus V1. See the example here. It will break. Will plus V1 is used over here. That is the rule of probable condition. See the next one. Type 2, improbable condition. Improbable condition. There is no such possibility. If you worked hard, you would pass. This is the sentence in type 2 condition. If you worked hard, you would pass. First of all, we have to divide the sentence into two. If you worked hard, you would pass. If you worked hard, which is the verb used over here? Yes, correct. Worked. Worked is the verb used over here. And in which form the verb is? Is it V1, V2, V3? Which form it is? Yeah, the second form of the verb is used over here. That means the past form of the verb is used over here. Worked. Then what we have to use in the main clause? Would plus first form of the verb or V1 we have to use in the main clause. Do you understand? See, in the first condition, in the probable condition, we used V1 in if clause and will plus V1 in main clause. Here, V2 in if clause and would plus V1 in main clause. Okay, this is the rule of improbable condition. See the third one, type 3, impossible condition. Impossible means there is not at all any chance. Okay, if you had worked hard, you would have passed. If you had worked hard, you would have passed. What we have to do first? Divide the sentence into two. The first part is if you had worked hard and the second part is you would have passed. Which verb is used in the first part? See, in the if clause, it is used past perfect. That means had plus V3 is used over here. Had plus third form of the verb is used over here. Then if we are using had plus V3 in the first place, then in the main clause what we have to use? Would plus have plus V3 we have to use over there. Would plus have plus V3 form, third form of the verb. That means the past participle form of the verb we have to use over there. See example, you would have passed. This is the rule of the third one. Here I will give you an example. If I had won the lottery, had plus V3, I would have bought 2 cars. I would plus have plus bought, by bought. The third form is used over here. So, had plus V3 if it is coming in the first part of the sentence. In the second part, what we have to use? Would plus have plus V3 we have to use. Okay. These are the 3 types of conditions. Here is a table for you. The different types of conditions are given here: probable, improbable, impossible. And in if clause what will come, and in main clause what will come. These things you have to study very carefully. This is very small and it is quite easy for you to study. You have to by heart these rules and you will be able to answer the questions which is coming from this part. In probable condition, in if clause V1 is coming, then in main clause will plus V1 will come. And in improbable condition, in if clause if V2 is coming, then in main clause would plus V1 will come. In impossible condition, had plus V3 in if clause and in main clause would have plus V3. If you want, then you can write down this table. It's quite easy for you to study. And now you are having one exercise in your textbook, page number 101. See the exercise. First of all, I will give you the clues and all. Then when I am giving you the clues, what you have to do is you have to write down the answer of your own. Okay. I will give you the rules and all. Don't worry. After that you can study it. Okay. If you had enough money. First of all, what we have to do, if a question is coming like this, what you have to do first, you have to read it carefully. Then you should find out which kind of verb came over there. What is the verb form of this part of the sentence, that you have to identify first. Then if you got the first part, then by studying the rules you will be able to complete the next part of the sentence. See here, if you had enough money, had, that is the verb form used over here. Had is the second form of the verb, that means V2 is used over here. Then you understood what you have to use in the next part of the sentence. If V2 is coming, then would plus V1 you have to use in the next part of the sentence. Would plus V1. Try to complete the sentence now. See the next question. I will come. Here the if clause we have to complete. The main clause is given over here. What we have to complete is the if clause. I will come. Will plus V1 is used over here. Will plus V1. Then what will come in the next part of the sentence? Yes, the first form of the verb. That means the present form of the verb will come in the next part of the sentence. Then try to complete it now itself. Okay, did you finish? Then the next question. If you had informed me. If you had informed me. Had plus informed, V3. Had plus V3 is used over here. Then what will come in the next part of the sentence? Had plus V3. Then in the next part, would have plus V3. Would have plus V3. Did you finish? Okay. Then see the fourth one. If she comes. If she comes. Comes. That is the verb. That is the first form of the verb. Then what you have to use in the next part? Will plus V1 you have to use in the next part of the sentence. If she comes, that the rest you have to fill. Then see the next one. If he had known about it. Had plus V3. Then we know that in the next part what you have to use? Would have plus V3. See the last one. If they tried. Tried. Which form of that? Which form of the verb is that? Yeah, that is the second form of the verb. If they tried. Then what you have to use? Would plus V1 in the next part of the sentence. Would plus V1. Did you complete all the answers? Let us go through it. See, my answer will be totally different from yours. That does not mean that your answer is wrong. Okay, you have to just go through the verb form of the sentences. Okay, I would buy a car. See the first question, if you had enough money, had, that is the V2 form, then what we have to use, would plus V1. Here see the answer, I would buy, would plus V1, I would buy a car. See the next one, I will come, will plus V1 is used over here, then we have to complete the if clause, if you invite me, V1 form we have to use over there. See the next one, if you had informed me, had plus V3, then what would be the answer? Would have plus V3. I would have attended the party. I would have attended the party. See the next one. If she comes. If she comes. That is the present form. Then we have to use will plus V1 or shall plus V1 or can plus V1. That all things we can use. Okay. I shall give her a present. Okay. See the next one, if he had known about it, had known, had plus V3, then would have plus V3, we have to use there, I would not have committed the mistake, I would not have committed the mistake. And see the last one, if they tried, they could get it, if they tried, they could get it. These are the three types of conditional sentences. Now, I think you understood which are the three types of conditional sentences, probable, improbable and impossible condition. In the first condition, if V1 is coming and the rest part what will come? Yeah, will plus V1 will come. If V2 is in the second condition, V2 will come, and in the next part what will come? Would plus V1 will come. And in the last one, last condition, in impossible condition, had plus V3 will come. Then in the next part what will come? Would have plus V3 will come. Okay. Study it carefully. Okay. And in the next activity, it is one conjunction. One conjunction is given over here, and how you have to use this conjunction, that is also explained in your textbook. See that. No sooner than. How we can use this one? When the second event occurs immediately after the first, they can be connected with no sooner than. What is that? When the second event occurs immediately after the first one, then we can use this no sooner than. No sooner should be added to the event that occurred first. Which is the first event? There we can use no sooner, and before the second event, there we can use than. Okay. Here after no sooner, had or did we can use. Okay. And let us go through the difference of this using this had and did. See the textbook. One activity is there. The first one is done for you. No sooner had I reached the station than the train left. The same thing here. The first event is I reached the station. The second one is the train left. The same thing is rewritten by using did. How can we rewrite this sentence by using did? No sooner did I reach. Here we are not supposed to use the second form or third form of the verb here. With did plus V1 only we will be able to use. That means did plus reach will make reached. So after did we have to use only V1. That is the rule of English. No sooner did I reach the station than the train left. See the next question. No sooner had we heard the sound than we rushed to the spot. I think this is quite easy for you to rewrite it. Okay. What is the answer? No sooner did we hear, not heard, did we hear the sound than we rushed to the spot. See the next one. Second one is given. The first one we have to find out. No sooner did she finish the project than she started a new one. How can we change it into by using had? No sooner had she finished. Ed we have to use over the had. Had plus means after had always the third form of the verb will come. No sooner had she finished the project than she started a new one. See the next one. What we have to add first? No sooner had. No sooner had I received her call than I left the house. And how can we rewrite this again into the by using did? No sooner did I receive her call than I left the house. It's easy, right? Okay. The next thing, by using hardly and as soon as, you can, it is asked you to write some examples for that. Okay. The same purpose, this hardly and as soon as is used for the same purpose only. But one difference is there, after hardly we have to use, instead of than we have to use when. Okay, that is the only difference. See, one example is there in your textbook. Hardly had I reached the station when the train left. Here, one example is given. Hardly had I received her call when I left. And some more examples you should find out of your own. Okay. See, in the same way, we have to use as soon as. One example is given in the textbook. As soon as I reached the station, the train left. Here one example. As soon as I received her call, I left the house. In this way, you have to find out some more sentences, and these are the conjunctions which are used to connect two events. Okay. Who is the class today? Is it clear for you? If you have any doubts regarding this video, you can ask it in the comment box of this video. You can visit this video again in the YouTube channel of Goodness TV. Thank you. Have a nice day.